Are you ready to delve into the darkest corners of your mind? Tonight we journey into the abyss, exploring the most terrifying tales ever whispered. These aren't just stories, they're windows into the raw, primal fear that lurks within us all. Prepare yourself, because once you descend into these nightmares, there's no turning back. Hold on tight, because tonight we face the unknown. Imagine a house, isolated and imposing, its shadows stretching like a claw across the desolate landscape. This is Hill House, a place where darkness lingers and whispers echo with the torment of the dead. Within its walls, a group of unsuspecting souls gather, drawn by curiosity or perhaps a morbid fascination with the unknown. But Hill House is no ordinary dwelling. It's a living entity, its malevolence seeping into the very marrow of those who dare to enter. The air grows heavy with dread, every creak of the floorboards, every gust of wind that rattles the windows, a chilling reminder that they are not alone. One by one, the inhabitants experience the house's sinister power. Visions flicker in the periphery, cold spots send shivers down their spines, and disembodied voices whisper their names in the dead of night. The line between reality and nightmare blurs, leaving them questioning their sanity. There's Eleanor, the fragile one, drawn to the house's darkness like a moth to a flame. Her connection to Hill House deepens, becoming both alluring and terrifying. As the haunting intensifies, so too does her descent into madness. The haunting of Hill House is a chilling reminder that some places are best left undisturbed, for within their walls lie secrets that can shatter the mind and consume the soul. Picture this, a man consumed by an obsession so profound, so disturbing, it pushes him to the brink of madness. His fixation? The seemingly ordinary eye of an old man he lives with. This eye, pale and filmy, becomes a beacon of terror in his mind, driving him to commit the unthinkable. Night after night, he sits in the old man's room, the darkness pressing in on him, the only sound the beating of his own heart. He watches, waits as the eye, that evil eye, stares back, fueling his paranoia and feeding his delusion. The tension builds with each passing moment, the man's sanity unraveling thread by thread. He convinces himself that the eye must be silenced, destroyed, to escape the torment that consumes him. Driven by this twisted logic, he meticulously plans his horrific act. His mind races a whirlwind of fear and justification as the line between reason and madness blurs. Finally he acts, silencing the eye and burying the old man beneath the floorboards. But his relief is short-lived. The pounding of his own heart, amplified in the silence, becomes a deafening reminder of his crime. The guilt gnaws at him, driving him deeper into the abyss of his own making. The Telltale Heart is a chilling exploration of guilt, madness, and the darkness that can reside within the human psyche. It's a reminder that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones we create within ourselves. High in the secluded mountains, shrouded in an eerie silence, stands the Overlook Hotel. Its grand facade hides a sinister past, a history steeped in darkness and despair. This is where the Torrance family arrives, seeking solace and a fresh start. Little do they know, they've entered a nightmare from which there may be no escape. Jack, a struggling writer battling his inner demons, hopes the isolation will spark his creativity. But the Overlook has other plans. It preys on his vulnerabilities, amplifying his anger and frustration, twisting his desires into something sinister. Danny, his young son, possesses a gift, a terrifying ability to see beyond the veil of reality. He sees the Overlook for what it truly is, a breeding ground for malevolent spirits trapped within its walls. They whisper to him, beckon him, their presence a constant source of terror. As the Overlook tightens its grip, the family unravels. Jack descends into madness, his sanity chipped away by the hotel's relentless influence. Wendy, his wife, finds herself trapped in a terrifying reality, fighting to protect her son from both the supernatural forces and the man she once loved. The Shining is a chilling masterpiece of psychological horror, a descent into madness fueled by isolation, obsession, and the malevolent spirits that haunt the Overlook Hotel. It's a stark reminder that sometimes the most beautiful places harbor the darkest secrets. Chapter 4. The Exorcist. Imagine a young girl, her innocence shattered by an unseen force. Her behavior becomes increasingly erratic, her words twisted into guttural pronouncements, her body contorted in unnatural ways. This is Reagan, a victim of a terrifying possession that will test the limits of faith and push the boundaries of fear. As Reagan's condition worsens, her desperate mother seeks help from the only source she can imagine, the Catholic Church. Two priests, Father Damien Carus and Father Lancaster Merrin are called upon to confront the entity that has taken hold of Regan's soul. What follows is a harrowing battle between good and evil, a grueling exorcism that will leave you breathless. The priests face unspeakable horrors, their faith tested as they confront the raw power of the demonic force. The air crackles with tension, the room filled with the stench of decay and the sound of Regan's tortured cries. The entity taunts them, revealing secrets and exploiting their deepest fears. But the priests, armed with their faith and driven by their compassion for the young girl, refuse to back down. The Exorcist is a terrifying exploration of the battle between faith and doubt, the vulnerability of innocence, and the horrifying reality of demonic possession. It's a film that will stay with you long after the credits roll, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of our world. Chapter 5. The Amityville Horror. Nestled in the seemingly peaceful suburbs sits a house, its exterior radiating an unsettling aura. This is 112 Ocean Avenue, the infamous Amityville house, a place forever etched in the annals of paranormal history. It was here that the Lutz family experienced a terrifying ordeal, a haunting so intense, so disturbing, it continues to send chills down spines to this day. The family, drawn to the house's charm despite its gruesome history, soon discovers that their new home harbours a dark secret. Strange occurrences plague them from the moment they step inside. Unexplained noises, foul odours, and a pervasive feeling of dread permeate every corner of the house. As days turn into nights, the paranormal activity intensifies. Doors slam shut on their own, objects move mysteriously, and disembodied voices whisper menacingly in the darkness. The family witnesses apparitions, shadowy figures that vanish as quickly as they appear, leaving behind an icy chill and a sense of unimaginable terror. The children, especially susceptible to the supernatural energies, experience horrifying nightmares and disturbing visions. The youngest daughter, Missy, befriends an unseen entity, a malevolent presence that calls itself Jodie. The Amityville Horror is a chilling reminder that sometimes the most terrifying stories are rooted in reality. It's a tale of a family terrorized by unknown forces in a house marked by tragedy and despair. Chapter 6. The Ring. Imagine this, a videotape. Its contents a bizarre and disturbing montage of unsettling imagery. Those who watch it are haunted by a chilling premonition, a phone call foretelling their demise in exactly 7 days. This is the premise of The Ring, a film that taps into our deepest fears of the unknown and the unstoppable. The story centers around a journalist, Rachel, who, intrigued by the rumors surrounding the cursed videotape, embarks on a quest to uncover the truth. Her investigation leads her down a rabbit hole of eerie occurrences and unexplained deaths, each connected to the tape and its chilling message. As Rachel delves deeper, she too becomes cursed, the clock ticking down to her own demise. She races against time, desperately trying to unravel the mystery behind the tape and the vengeful spirit that haunts it. Her search leads her to a remote island, a place shrouded in sadness and secrets, where she uncovers a tragic past and a malevolent entity seeking retribution. The Ring masterfully blends technology and folklore, creating a modern ghost story that is both terrifying and thought-provoking. The grainy footage, the eerie soundtrack, and the unsettling imagery all work together to create a palpable sense of dread that lingers long after the film ends. Chapter 7. Imagine a single mother, Amelia, struggling to cope with the loss of her husband while raising her troubled son, Samuel. Their already fragile world is turned upside down by the arrival of a sinister entity, the Babadook, a creature born from the pages of a disturbing children's book. The book, with its unsettling illustrations and haunting rhymes, describes the Babadook, a tall, shadowy figure in a top hat, who, once invited in, can never be truly expelled. Samuel becomes fixated on the book, convinced that the Babadook is real and lurking in the shadows of their home. Amelia dismisses it as an overactive imagination, but as strange and unsettling occurrences begin to plague them, she can no longer deny the growing darkness that seems to be closing in. The Babadook's presence becomes increasingly menacing, its influence seeping into their lives, amplifying their anxieties and turning their home into a prison of fear. As Amelia fights to protect her son and maintain her sanity, she must confront her own demons, the grief and trauma she's been suppressing. The Babadook feeds on their vulnerability, exploiting their fears and driving a wedge between mother and son. Chapter 8. In the small town of Derry, Maine, a group of outcast kids known as the Losers Club find themselves facing their worst nightmares, a shape-shifting entity that preys on their deepest fears, taking the form of Pennywise the dancing clown. Pennywise, with his grotesque grin and unsettling demeanor, embodies the very essence of childhood terror. He lurks in the shadows, his presence felt in every creak of an old house, every rustle in the sewers, every whispered rhyme on the wind. The Losers Club, bound by their shared experiences and their unwavering friendship, must confront their fears and band together to defeat Pennywise. Each member faces their own personal demons, their deepest anxieties brought to life by the entity's terrifying power. But Pennywise is more than just a clown. It's a manifestation of the town's dark underbelly, a symbol of the unspoken horrors that lurk beneath the surface of everyday life. It feeds on fear, growing stronger with every scream, every nightmare, every drop of blood spilled in its name. It is a story about the power of friendship, the enduring strength of childhood bonds, and the terrifying reality that some evils can't be escaped, only confronted. Chapter 9. In the secluded farmhouse, darkness reigns. The Perron family, new to the property, soon realize their dream home is a nightmare in disguise. They are not alone. Something wicked festers within the walls, something ancient and hungry. The haunting begins subtly, whispers in the dead of night, the stench of decaying flesh, a grandfather clock that chimes at the stroke of 3:07 a.m., a time forever marked by evil. But soon, the paranormal activity escalates, growing increasingly violent and terrifying. Desperate for help, the family turns to Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned paranormal investigators with a chilling case history. The Warrens, drawn to the family's plight, arrive at the farmhouse, ready to confront the unseen forces that torment them. As the Warrens delve deeper into the history of the house, they uncover a malevolent presence, a witch named Bathsheba, who once cursed the land, sacrificing her own child to the devil. Her spirit, twisted by rage and despair, continues to haunt the property, targeting the family that now resides within its walls. The Conjuring is a masterclass in supernatural horror, a chilling reminder that some doors are best left unopened and some evils are better left undisturbed. Chapter 10. Imagine a family haunted by a legacy of secrets and mental illness, their lives slowly unraveling as a sinister presence tightens its grip. This is the unsettling world of Hereditary, a film that burrows under your skin and stays there long after the credits roll. When Annie Graham's secretive mother passes away, the family grapples with grief and a growing sense of unease. Annie, a miniature artist struggling with her own demons, finds solace in her work, recreating scenes from her troubled past in disturbing detail. Hereditary is a slow burn, its horror creeping in at the edges of your vision, unsettling you with every subtle detail, every off-kilter glance, every whispered word. The film masterfully blurs the lines between reality and delusion, leaving you questioning the character's sanity and your own. As the family unravels, the supernatural elements intensify. The line between the living and the dead blurs, and the true nature of their inheritance becomes horrifyingly clear. The film is a masterclass in atmosphere and dread, its unsettling imagery and haunting score working in tandem to create a truly unforgettable experience. Outro. So there you have it. 10 tales of terror that have chilled audiences to the bone. These stories, whether born from literature, film or real-life accounts, remind us of the power of fear, the darkness that lurks at the edges of our reality. As you turn off the lights tonight, remember the chills that ran down your spine, the images that lingered in your mind. And if you hear a creak in the floorboards, a whisper in the dead of night, just remember, sometimes the scariest stories are the ones we tell ourselves. Sweet dreams.